Soccer 605. We're here with Coach Jeremy Tosaya, who is the Technical and Executive Director for South Dakota Soccer Association here at the beautiful Spearfish Ronnie Theisz soccer fields for the Kohls American Cup. Everything looks like it's going great.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and Jason Weir and Jenny Ness did a great job coming together and putting this tournament together for this weekend. So yeah, it's fantastic to see all the kids here.
Yeah, it's nice to be back on the Spearfish fields, here, especially at the Ronnie Theisz field. The legendary Ronnie Theisz, the first guy who held basically your position, and the only guy for quite a few years.
Yeah, and so we're excited, and I think they're playing the college games here at this field too this next fall, so that'll be exciting too.
Oh, I didn't know that. I hadn't even thought about where they'd be playing them. So this tournament was originally canceled because of what appeared to be a lack of interest, and then it was back on very quickly. It moved to Spearfish. What was that like for you guys and the staff scrambling to get things all changed around?
Sure. I mean, it was a really tough decision to make the call that we might have to cancel in Rapid City, and the funny thing is, as soon as we did, then we had a huge outpouring from the local soccer association saying that they wanted to still play, and Spearfish offered to host, and so Rapid City said they were fine releasing the hosting rights, and so yeah, it came together very quickly. At the time that we canceled, we had 3 teams registered, and now we have 45 teams here this weekend. So it's amazing to me just how it's come together.
Sometimes people just have to have it taken, the threat of it being taken away to really appreciate it, right?
Apparently, yeah. So maybe we need to do that more often, I guess. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, and visit Spearfish. Spearfish Chamber ordered in some beautiful weather for you this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I was a little worried yesterday when it was pretty windy, but yeah, it's amazing. The weekend's going to be great weather-wise, and the fields are good, and the kids are having fun, so we couldn't ask for better.
So we have 8s, 10s, 12s, and a 14 girls division, right?
Yep. So, and there's some 9s in the 10s division as well. But yeah, so the Kohls Cup, the 8s, 9s, and 10s is the largest, and then we have the boys and girls 12s and the girls 14s.
And that's the Midco Cup.
That's the Midco Cup. Yep.
Now, obviously we had some changes coming up. A new announcement this last week that was pretty exciting. Not necessarily related to this event, but the first ever state futsal tournament. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've always thought that we should have a state futsal tournament. 5 months of our season is futsal, or indoor soccer, whatever you want to call it. And obviously the last couple of years we've been struggling to unify the indoor stuff from the rules standpoint. The referees have been trying to do that. So at the U.S. Youth Convention, I just contacted U.S. Futsal and asked to sit down with them at the convention, and we talked to them a little bit more about what does that look like, affiliation, and we found out that South Dakota Junior Soccer Association was affiliated with U.S. Futsal at some point, and technically still were affiliated, just a non-acting partner. So we brought it to the board and just said we think we should do this. And it allows the kids to play for something. We're allowed to host a state cup for futsal, and with regionals and national qualification on the line.
It's going to be exciting because futsal, indoor soccer, has become huge in the state.
Yeah, just since I've been here, I've only been in the state for 8 years, and when we first started the Wesleyan Winter Classic, it was the only indoor tournament played on a hard surface on the east side of the state. And now we had 16 indoor tournaments last year. Wow. Sanctioned with the state of South Dakota. So it's definitely, it's obviously more popular than the outdoors, considering we only had 8 last year outdoor tournaments.
Well, and there's some kids that play futsal and don't play outdoor.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's really good about small-sided is that it allows the smaller associations to put teams together in interim. So, in Mitchell, where I live, it's hard to get teams in every age group, but for indoor, it's a lot easier when you only need 5 kids on the field.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So what does the future hold? Obviously, there's that change coming up. What other changes are coming up that people can expect?
Yeah, U.S. Soccer sent out their mandates, so we're slowly adapting those and making changes there. But I think there's a lot of stuff coming. Champions League was bigger than it's ever been this last year, and so we have some things in mind for that. We're in the process of signing an agreement with North Dakota and Minnesota for the Northern States Soccer League, which will be run by Region 2. And it's going to be something where our competitive teams can get a little bit more competition more consistently without having to travel to Chicago or Wisconsin like they do for MRL.
So kind of a sub regional of MRL?
Yeah, so eventually we're hoping MRL decides to take it over, but right now it's just an agreement between North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota that we'll have competitive teams and Rec Plus teams playing each other basically along the I-29 corridor.
It's outstanding. That's been something that's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and when I picked up the conversation, apparently it had been a conversation that had been going on for 3 years, and my question is, why are we still talking about it, not doing it?
I'd say it's been going on for about 30 years,
Yeah, probably, yeah.
but at times a little more attentive than others.
Yeah.
Now, we also have coming up this week, I believe, the ODP's camp, right?
Yeah, ODP State Camp, it's larger than it's ever been before. Steve, Kim, and Jason have been doing a fantastic job with that as well. I mean, we had 500 kids that were on the pool list. 230 plus showed up for tryouts. 220, we've maxed out the camp. We honestly can't take any more kids. All the beds are filled.
Where will they be staying?
At Northern State. And we actually have to put the coaches at Super 8 because we ran out of beds on campus.
Darn.
Yeah, so it's some great problems happening for the state right now as far as the involvement and the interest has been really good, especially Champions League and for ODP. So now we just got to get interest in the tournaments up. I think the Futsal State Cup will be a huge hit too.
Well, and now with ODP, it's Dakotas. It's North and South Dakota together. Dakota's ODP. And that's been going on for what? Maybe 6 years?
Yeah, 5 or 6 years, something like. I can't remember when the last time was. We were just South Dakota, but yeah.
And do you have, as far as the camp goes, is it for all ages that are going, or?
Yeah, so it's for all the ODP kids. So we have 2005s through the 99s. And we're actually hosting sub-regionals in Sioux Falls this year.
And when will that be?
And that will be June 28th to the 30th. Again, it's a great opportunity for South Dakota to be hosting that, and Kansas and Nebraska and Iowa are going to be involved, and next year Minnesota is going to be joining our sub-region. Yeah, a lot of exciting stuff's happening, and I think it's a good time to be a part of South Dakota State Soccer.
Now, what ages are going to be going to sub-regional?
Sub-regionals, we open for all those ages, so 05s through 99s.
Wow. That's pretty exciting to have it in Sioux Falls. And
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
next year we have another event coming up in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, next year we have obviously Region 2 championships in Sioux Falls, so that'll be a massive undertaking, but they've done it 3 times before, so.
Very successfully, I might add.
Exactly, so, and we just put in a bid for hosting President's Cup in 2018. I don't know if we'll get that, but I think that's going to be something we're going to start bidding for too.
All right, well, I know there's some things going on the competitive side. We did not have a full state cup this year, and don't have teams necessarily going to regionals this year. I know the committee's still working on that. Can you give us any insight into what's going to happen with the competitive side with the state cup and regionals?
I mean, I don't know a whole lot. I mean, the competitive committee hasn't met really recently, so that's probably more for Dave Sharp, who's the vice president of competitive soccer, stuff like that. But I know that we just put together a development committee, and basically it's going to be a committee of people from all over the state, east and west, large associations, small associations, trying to find out both recreationally and competitively what do we need to do a better job of as South Dakota State Soccer, and what is it that our associations need from us, and what's developmentally appropriate for the members. So I think it's going to be really good because not since I've been involved have I seen a group of that making from all the different associations come together and say, here's what we need to do better as a state. And I think it's going to help give the associations a voice to the decisions that we make, because obviously we learned a lesson this last year with the state cup stuff. Decisions are being made, but maybe we're not asking the right people their opinion.
Well, it's always good to do some self-reflection, right?
Sure, yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily an issue of misrepresentation or anything. It's just maybe we're not asking the right people the right questions is what we're trying to do. So, and we've been asking other states what they do and how they do that, and this idea about the development committee came from another conversation with another state. So hoping that it starts to pan out and we start making better informed decisions.
No sense in reinventing the wheel. Someone's already figured it out.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no point in me or Jason or the board trying to make decisions that obviously people don't want to follow, so and I hate just throwing stuff against the wall, seeing what sticks and then moving on. I feel like it's a big waste of time.
A little more long-range planning will help a lot, won't it?
Hopefully, I think so too, yeah. And I think there's a lot of exciting stuff coming out of the board. Rex has done a good job. Rich set a great precedence, and Rex has come in and picked up where he left off. And so, we're trying to do some stuff where we're starting to plan out 2 years in advance and things like that. And I think that's just going to help everybody in the state.
Well, thanks so much for taking time with us, giving us that update. A beautiful tournament here. We're excited for the finish of this. Please give your beautiful wife and adorable son a big hug from us.
Yeah, absolutely. And love seeing Soccer 605 at anything soccer. So it's great to see you back out here.
Our pleasure. Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thanks.